To start with, I want to ask, have you ever seen these items? You will see so many flea markets while driving around Jonesboro. There are 3 on Southwest Drive, 5 on Nellington Avenue, 2 on G Street, 1 on Highland Drive, and 1 on King Street. However, in my mind, flea market is just a place full of old, dirty, and unusable stuff. Chances of finding good things in flea markets are fairly low. As we know, many franchise markets like Kmart, Sears, and Hastings were closed in town. How come so many flea markets are still in business? What products they sell? Why a lot of people like to go and shop there? Curious about all this, I went to one flea market, then many other flea markets in town. It surprised me that I like almost each of them. The overall experience totally changed my understanding of flea market, and this is also why I started this ethnography work. So, what is flea market? The term flea market arose with the beginning of the Paris flea market around 1870. Great variety of used items were sold in open-air market, like broken furniture, rags, and used mattresses. They were called flea bags in Ceylon, and probably because of this, it is named as flea market. However, in America, open-air public markets were created by immigrant communities in large urban centers by the turn of the 20th century. Cities like New York, Chicago, and Philadelphia had a number of these markets. They were called flea market, rag fair, or street market. Sometimes they were just called by the name of the local ethnic groups. The flea market's boom started from the late of the 1950s. They gave people easy opportunities to indulge their collecting desires. A number of sellers even wrote guides for buying and selling things at the flea markets in the 70s and 80s. And started from the 80s, the trend of trading primarily new items appeared in flea market. Research methodologies. Use Sarah Pink's Doing Visual Research, Crane and Michael's field projects in ethnology as guidance, participant observation, and semi-structured interviews are used in this project. In specific, this ethnography project started by actual participant and observation of 10 flea market stores that located in Jonesboro, Arkansas. Then, semi-structured interviews were held with 4 store owners, and informal interviews during several follow-up visits. Related academic research. Flea markets have a much longer and richer history than what has generally been assumed, but academic studies of flea markets are limited. Moreover, as part of the underground economy, open-air flea markets is the main research object. Little attention has been paid on flea market stores. With the growing popularity of the flea markets and the increasing number of flea market stores here in Jonesboro, this ethnography project aims to provide a comprehensive understanding of flea market stores in today's world. So, my research questions are: what is the nature of flea market? For this part, I want to know what merchandise are being sold, what are the varieties, where to get the items, and how the items are priced and displayed. What is the market atmosphere? As we all know, interaction between shoppers and sellers is a vital part of the business. What are the meanings of flea market? Questions like how flea market tied to this country's history and culture, how things are preserved and passed on to future generations will be addressed during interviews.
I've been doing this for somewhere around 30 years, but I've owned this place, so it'll be 4 years this November. So I know a little bit about flea marketing, I know a little bit about what customers like, but every place you go to, you have to decide you have a different group of customers, so you need to know what they like. So it takes a while sometimes.
For probably 30 years or more, yeah. This is something I've did for a long time, and I've got booths in other flea markets as well. This is my main place here, but I've got booths other places as well.
I've been in business for about 8 years now. This is my third place to move. So I tell everybody I'm moving on up.
We've been here just over 8 years. But you gotta keep it clean and neat or it won't work, you know.
Noticed several antique malls in Arkansas, and they thought because of the space here that would probably be a good idea, and decided to try it. We have 80 plus booths, walls, and shelves, and then we have about 100 vendors right now.
We get it from yard sales, we get it from auctions. I have people to come in here and say, hey, do you buy stuff? And I say, yeah, it depends on what it is. And sometimes I buy stuff from them, and sometimes I send them someplace else to sell their stuff.
A lot of it's import items. My new items is imported from China. And then a lot of my other everyday items, people just come in and sell it to me, or, you know, I buy it at other places.
I have people who come in and they rent booths here with me. And they bring, a lot of it is household items that they've had, or they're wanting to change, you know, a different theme in their house. And so they'll resell their stuff and they make a little profit, you know. And so I rent booths out to people.
They each do their own stuff. Sometimes they'll ask for suggestions, and I will help them.
There's no rules to it, okay? What I try to do is I try to color coordinate, okay? Also, if I know that someone is coming in that likes something special, I make sure that it's in a certain place. Even if it's not mine, I try to help other vendors sell stuff. Yeah, basically it's try to sort stuff so it complements each other.
Features of flea market. Several studies focused on the socio-cultural significance of flea markets with aspects of this retail ecology and market action. It is obvious that some features of flea market like greater variety, large amount of the items, and social values worth research attention. There is uncertainty of what you're gonna find in flea markets. Also, flea market is like a magnet that draws people who like it together. It gradually becomes to a small community, and oftentimes active participants of flea markets have dual identities.
On my days off, I love going to the ones that are open because we're closed Mondays here. And so there are a few flea markets around that are open, and I like to go out of town, you know, and go to the flea markets out of town too. So flea markets are in my blood.
And when I go in, I tell them, you know, oh, I'm from Fancy Attic, or they know me because they've been in here. Yeah. It's not a competition because they each have their own. In fact, some of our vendors have booths at other flea markets here in Jonesboro as well. Because sometimes like what sells on this end of town doesn't sell on that end of town. You know, it's really varied.
I do, and I have booths. I rent booths in other shops. So, you know, you asked me about Treasure Hunt. I've got a booth there. I've got a booth at Look Once, Look Twice. Across the street at Backdoor Treasures.
Let's see, what was it? Last Friday, I went to Oak Grove, north of Paragould, and bought a bunch of stuff from a guy, and I went to 2 flea markets in Jonesboro and bought a bunch of stuff. So what I do is I buy, and some of my vendors do the same thing. I buy low and price my stuff to make some money off of that. I don't buy expensive stuff that I don't think I can sell for anything profit.
Oh, I buy stuff in here all the time. Every day I buy something in here.
Yeah, that's the good part of it too right there, because I get first choice, you know. So if I decide, hey, I'm gonna take that home, it'll go to the house. So that's a good thing about a flea market, because you know.
There was this one time this vendor brought in something that had license plates on it. And because I collect license plates, she had brought it to her booth before I could go and see what she had, and a customer brought it up. There was times that I wanted to say, that's not for sale. So I couldn't buy it for myself, but have I thought that? Absolutely. Have I ever said it? No. I would never tell somebody they couldn't buy something.
Oh yeah, it works. Social media works. Yeah, it does. Yeah, yeah. I've got my own Facebook site for Jonesboro Imports.
The young lady took a picture of a table and chairs, posted it. Lady called her up immediately and said, "You just posted this. I want it. I'll be up there." By noon, we opened at 10 officially. By noon, it was bought. By 1 o'clock, it was out. Are in this area, and we offer things at a lower price than Walmart does, or Amazon, or other places that you can order online. And big box stores, you can't get the stuff like you can here for the price.
I take pictures and post pictures. Customers will get on Facebook and see what's new, what has come in, and they can message me for a price, or message me other questions, message me about interviews, things of that nature.
There is a trend that people buy old things and recreate them so that they will have new uses and meanings, just as some scholars have argued that second-hand things are reconfigured. They have hybrid social and commercial values through their shifts between different social contexts.
Yeah, they like to buy distressed furniture, and it's called a reclaim, and they'll repurpose, and they'll paint it or fix it up or whatever. Yeah, they like to do that.
To me, it's real important to recycle and reduce and reuse and repurpose, and that's what I like about shopping at flea markets and thrift stores, is because you're giving an old piece new life. Even if you're not going to use it for the way it's intended, you're still going to give it another life doing something with it.
New furniture is expensive. It's not really that well made. So what's popular right now is the old solid wood furniture, and people paint it and sell it here. People like that.
But then some people will buy things, and then they tell me what they're going to do with it, and I tell them, take a picture, bring it back, show it to me, you know. And it just amazes me what they can do with things. I'm not talented at all, but they buy a lot of neat things in here, and they make it look so much prettier after what they do with it.
Pleasant communication. Many researchers have studied the unique aspects of outdoor flea market, like different shopping experience, harmonious and pleasant market atmosphere. But flea market stores is significant in its pleasant communication and interaction with shoppers, especially when online shopping and technology like self-checkout machines become extremely normal in our lives.
We try to help the customer, you know, we'll talk to the customer, and we try to be nice, you know, and they like that, because, you know, if you go to Walmart, for example, you're on your own, you know, you go through there and you find what you want and go. But here you walk in, any flea market in town, you walk in, they're going to greet you, they're going to say, hey, how you doing, come on in, are you looking for anything in particular, or are you just looking, or whatever, you know. A lot of people say, I'm just looking, or hey, I'm looking for this, that, or whatever, have you got it?
This is more of a friendly hometown business. Walmart's just a big corporation. They put it on the shelf. You want it or you don't want it. You pay that price or you don't pay that price. That's it. You know. Here, some people will haggle the price, you know.
I get to meet many different people. Some people I can josh or play with, you know, have fun with them. Other people you got to know who you're dealing with, and you know, be straight sometimes, and sometimes you can be very light. Two ladies came in just a while ago. They'd been here for 2 weeks, and one of them came up and said, "Hello, my name is." So you know, you go along with it. I've got a military guy that comes in. I could choke him, but I don't.
In this type of work, I love communicating with people. I have lots of good customers that I've come very close to, and you can't do that at a checkout line. You know, you can't talk to that person, you know, like you can in my store, because I don't care who you are, I'm going to talk to you.
Connect to the past, bring back memory. Just as Ward Combs points out in his study, antiques can reveal the culture and history of different regions. It is true that items can speak, but only the people who know them understand.
One older gentleman came in, and there was it was a light, and it was a chuck wagon, you know, like the old days with the little canopy on it and stuff. And it was a light you plug in. And it was an antique. It was made out of like bamboo, very delicate. And he came in and just stopped and picked it up and brought it up here. And I'm getting that he didn't look at the price. I had one of these when I was 5, and I have to have it. I have to have it. And he bought it. And I just went, oh. He kept looking at it like, I think this is the one I had, you know.
You saw me sell that coal bucket a while ago. This elderly lady remembered it from when she was younger. And I mentioned that she wanted some coals for it. And I mentioned that Santa didn't leave. Oh, I used the ones that Santa left me. She knew exactly what I was talking about. So it brings back memories. And because I'm old, I can help them bring back memories. I'm 71, okay?
I loved the history behind other people's stuff, because growing up, I can see a lot of my vendors bringing things in when I was a child or when my grandparents were kids, you know, and it's just learning the history behind it, you know. And besides that, it's seeing the smile on customers' faces when they see something that they used to have when they were a kid and they get to take it back home with them. You know, that's all worth it to me.
All your older stuff is history. You know, it survived. And baby boomers, you know, people who were kids in the 50s and 60s, they can come in here and find a toy that they grew up with, and they may want it, you know, or they see something their grandmother had on the shelf and they want it, you know, like a vase or a lamp or something like that.
When I retired, I've worked in management all my life, and of course I've always had little stores, little flea markets, and this is just a way to make some extra money. You know, you're not gonna get rich, but you're gonna make a little change, and have fun and meet people. You know, it's a good people business. So, you know, I really like it.
I think they're going to do well, especially when all the big businesses are not doing well. I think people are catching on to this type of a store, and, you know, it's the one place you can come to get food and pretty much anything you need for your house. So.
I think flea markets are going to prosper because all the major retail stores are closing. And because they're closing, that brings a lot more customers into places like this. And just like that one thing we talked about, you're getting a live person, you know, where you can make communication and some type of bond with the people that work, you know. I love it. I have been doing this all my life. Even when I was a little girl, I'd go to auctions. Auctions is a good place to go to, you know, fill your booths back up, because you can buy a lot of goodies and a lot of good bargains and things like that. And this is a good way to make money. You know, you're not going to get rich doing this, but you're going to have fun, and it's not as stressful as anything else. And you don't have to have a degree doing this. You just have to be friendly and, you know, outgoing and love people. You got to love people to do this.
Living in today's high-tech world, we enjoy the fast pace of life and we get used to going to franchise stores and online shopping. However, even under today's fierce market competition, flea markets is still growing prosperously. Flea market plays a vital role in today's modern society, not only because it has a great variety of things that are in lower price, but also because the unique shopping experience, like the feel of hunt, the sense of hospitality, the interaction and communication with people, and the connection it builds to one's past.